mind, which just seems like the opposite of immovable. But anyway, that's Zen for you.
Oh, tell us more. Hi, Resa. We've got like 5 minutes to just kind of chat. What can we just break down what immovable, or what was it? What kind of mind?
Well, there are various ways to translate. Literally, it means the immovable mind. And actually, fudo means immovable. So it's like real estate is also called fudo-san, or immovable property or something. But when you put mind on it, it refers to the state of mind that is not easily disturbed or interrupted by attachment. So sometimes the translate is non-abiding mind. It's the basis of martial arts philosophy, or Zen, as it influenced martial arts philosophy. Anyway, samurai.
Amazing. So for those of you who just joined in the short of 3 span minutes, Joe expressed interest in Will's background and then showed us a piece of calligraphy that he had in his home. Will was able to read it, and the quote was, one more time, Will?
Immovable mind, literally immovable mind, but sometimes translated as non-abiding or non-attached mind, which means really the ultimate form of resilience, because you're not stuck. You know, you're not stuck. You can adapt and go with the flow as needed.
Crazy. And that immediately makes me now think of Greg. Whenever I hear the word resilience now, I'm like, Greg, over here in corner left.
Well,
Greg,
the
what
idea
does that mean to you?
This calligraphy in the background is makoto, which means sincerity or authenticity. And it's the idea, the left-hand radical is speech, the right-hand radical is to become. So your speech and your actions, your words and your actions must match.
Crazy. Okay. Hi, Josh. Hi, Dave. Greg, does that mean anything to you? We're just having a discussion about some Zen philosophy before we get started here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been, obviously up to my neck in Zen for most of my life. So I have a lot of perspective on that.
Excellent.
And I love the fact that you're able to translate that so well, William. It's one of the things that I find myself frequently having discussions with people about, is like the true nature of what the translation of dukkha really is. Like the idea that all life is suffering is actually like a mistranslation.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think some of the translations, the early translations of Buddhist ideas were actually done by Catholic missionaries.
Yeah.
Who obviously had an agenda. They saw these distorted figures at the beginning, at the entrance to a temple, which were the guardians of the temple. And they said, oh, look, this is devil worship. And so
it's so funny you should mention that. William, I'd love to jam with you sometime. Not too long ago, I came to this sort of epiphany about the origin of the change between the symbology of the snake and how that was something so different before Catholicism came along. And even pre-Catholicism, actually, Judaism was the original to change the meaning.
Yeah. Well, Kundalini energy, and yeah.
Oh, you guys, well, I know a platform. I happen to know a platform where you can connect and have a conversation about this. It just so happened.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah. I mean, what a brilliant display of, again, a topic that would be pretty hard to know that you can go open a door with someone and dive in and be like, hey, I have this, I've been thinking a lot about this, and I can exercise that thought on you because you've been there or you have a background in that. And that's kind of like, to me, like a version of sport. I get to play with someone in a knowledge category. So thank you for that real-time display of Pick My Brain, because I'm always trying to like articulate what it is. So Dave or Josh, welcome. You're kind of new to the group. Most of the people here just finished a 5-day Become a Brain challenge. Yep, we're graduating, and so I did put this invite out a little bit, but not too much. So welcome. I'm gonna go through kind of what we all accomplished over the last 5 days. All the people in the room here have unlocked another offer out into the universe that is now available, that wasn't priorly openly and available. And then what we're going to do, day 5 of the program really is like our creative networking events at Pick My Brain, a mix and a match and an introduction to each other so that we can meet, greet, collide, and shop each other's offers. And so today I'm going to adjust it a little bit. We're going to do it a little bit faster. And what I want us to do in these breakout rooms is, just if I was in a room with Omar, I'd be like, all right, Omar, what do you have to offer? What can you sell me? I want to like ask him and inquire. And I want Omar to display that to me. And then when we come back to the group, we're going to sell each other. So I'm gonna be like, you know what Omar's super good at? This, this, and this, and see if that message has been translated. And again, this network is all about referring each other, selling each other, right? It's so much more fun to sell the community than ourselves. And we can rely on that if the community sells us too. So we're gonna do that. And then we're also just gonna quickly go through, I did almost say shoot the shit. Thanks, Greg. Then I want everyone to take a pen and pencil, and I'm going to get everyone to kind of walk through the room by just saying, hey guys, if you want to talk about this, I want you to connect. And all of us can just write down some of the people that intrigue us, because part of the process of becoming a brain is going to be going to book other brains as well. And so I want everyone to end the platform or end the program with both experiences, creating an offer and then connecting with someone over an offer. Hi, Dave.
Hey, greetings.
Greetings. That always makes me sound like earthlings. Okay, so I'm share my screen really quick.
Take me to your leader.
Yes.
I did the wrong course.
You what?
I did the 5-day. I did the 5-day Get a Brain course, not Pick a Brain course.
Pick a Brain. I know. Well, it's we're gonna lead into the next one. We'll finish off.
Get a Brain course instead.
Yeah, I should have to learn how to actually access knowledge. Right? Who here would actually like, I would love to be a participant of William and Greg's conversation. I know I couldn't enter that conversation with what we saw, right? That understanding, that deep understanding of Zen, but I would
Joe and
love...
Dave in it too.
What's that?
And definitely with Joe and Dave in it too.
Yeah,
the 4 of them.
Yeah, maybe we could set that up. And I guess that's kind of what Clubhouse's purpose are. But again, we can be participants in knowledge and directly related. So I just want to quickly go over what I promised you guys, right? This 5-day program was me creating an offer, packaging an offer, pricing an offer, and delivering it to a group, all of you, which signed on to that offer. And what I kind of promised you as I created that offer, something that we all did over the last 5 days, was that you were going to package and price something that you were really passionate about. That you were going to unlock kind of one new economic and social opportunity for yourself, that you were gonna turn that offer into a really easy consumable for others, and that we were gonna tell people about it. And each day kind of took us through that. I hope you guys got, that value, and I saw it definitely happen in the Facebook group. And again, reminding us of why we went through that process. Why did we all come together to do this challenge? And again, we kind of talked about the science of giving back, the passion economy and the future of work, and like learning how to create revenue streams for ourselves. We talked about the economy shifting, that 85% of the jobs that are going to exist in 2030 do not exist today. And so it's this really big creation period. And we might as well practice it. We talked about the workforce adjusting a little bit and becoming more fractional, and that people are actually looking to hire on a fractional basis, and all of us kind of are available fractionally. We talked about that we're just wired to connect as humans, and sometimes just a conversation is like a really empowering thing on so many levels that I can't even measure. We talked about the evolution of the employee. Again, like this, we used to work 9 to 5, now we're working anytime, more customized work, more sharing, more democratized. So again, we all kind of have stepped over into this new era. I don't even know what to call it. And then most importantly, big why, I think like collectively, we really need to learn how to make money online in more meaningful ways and sell each other more meaningful things that do not lead to like the destruction of the planet per se, and things that unlock value inside of each of us. And simply by stating that you are open and available and offering your knowledge and expertise, I promise you that you will be finding yourself in conversations simply with people who are working on pretty cool things. So that's kind of the why that we got together. And then just really quickly revisiting our strategy of unlocking all that is, we're making you guys, right? We believe at Pick My Brain, everyone needs a knowledge profile to display their knowledge, to show off their knowledge, to articulate that on a space. We haven't seen a profile do that. Second, we could use a marketplace to actually shop this new category. All of our offers are uploaded into one standard place that we can all refer each other really easy, and the customer can have that consistent checkout process. And then lastly, this community element, just bringing each other together, and in 3 minutes, just seeing what happens when we collide, acting on each other's, knowing what each other's passions are and what we're the go-to for will allow us to create a system. It's just like really collectively minded. And that's what we're kind of doing here. These like events where we get to see each other in real time and feel each other. So we all built a profile over the last 5 days. We all crafted some offers. We all played with the idea of like how to do this. It is a total process. And we created kind of a knowledge commerce store. So that was what the 5-day challenge that you signed up to do was. And again, I'm going through that for a few reasons. Number one, just to remind ourselves that what we did over the last 5 days and the why. And second, to just walk the walk. Like Pick My Brain is always creating offers too, and so am I. And it's like this evolving process. So that's how we just made another value. I wonder if a 5-day challenge would be useful for our community. Let's try it. And it looked like it was. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to stop talking and let us now go into the meeting and the greeting and the breakout rooms. So how I'm going to do this one is I'm going to do them shorter. I want you guys to meet as many people as you can and hear each other's offers. But I want you to, as soon as you enter the room, hey, what do you do and what do you offer? What do you have for sale? Tell me how you can help me. I want the person who's asking, right, the brain to like draw that out of them. I want you to be like, what do you have for sale? What do you have to offer? What do you want to offer me? Let that individual share. And then when we come back, you guys are gonna sell each other, okay? So we'll do one and we'll see how it goes. And then I'll tell you what we're gonna do in the second one. So in this room, you will have 5 minutes. So 2.5 minutes each to exchange what it is you have to offer each other. Got it? Any questions? Okay, practice.
One quick question.
Yeah.
So you're saying afterwards, we're going to come back and pitch the other person?
Correct. So if you were in a room with me, Greg, you're going to find out what I have for sale, and then you're going to tell everyone in the room what I have for sale on my behalf. Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily have to be something that you currently have a published thing on Pick My Brain for.
You're thinking about it. Yeah, no, you're good. You're in creation mode. Yeah.
Yeah, because the formatting seems broken, but that's probably user error.
I'll help you out, Dave or Joe. Yeah, we'll get your offers uploaded. Okay, ready? I'll see you guys in 5. And join.
All right, so you get to talk, not about me. Talk about you when you come.
No, I'll talk about you because I think
fighting over who talks.
Are we
about.
back?
No, you're gonna go. I'm
Welcome back. Okay, well, maybe that was too short. We'll see. We'll discover. We've got more breakout sessions and a few group activities, so don't be stressed out if you didn't get the full articulation.
Well, we had 3 in our group.
Oh, God.
So go fast.
We had 3 in our group, and we still managed to get it done in 8 seconds to spare.
You guys rock.
You're an overachiever.
Okay, who wants to start? I'll let you guys guide this one. Does the really?
I'll start because I want Joe to have the floor.
Sure.
Because I didn't get to hear Joe, so I would like Joe to share with everyone what Joe was going to share with me.
Well, I actually want to start by talking about Lisa because I'm excited about what she has to say, and it's really something that I've been struggling with over the past week. Well, longer than that, but I'm going to do something cheesy and say quick show of hands. Who finds it difficult to talk about themselves? Yeah, and through everything that Lisa told me, what I really boiled it down to is that she helps you to create stories about your superpowers by engaging in authentic conversations with you. And it's about drawing out your authenticity And then she, in her words, does her little Nancy Drew sleuthing thing and turns that into maybe discovering things that you said about yourself that you didn't even know you said about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really magical.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're having trouble with any of that kind of stuff and you haven't had a chance to get with Lisa, you should definitely have a conversation with her. And I have a feeling that if you had a chance to talk with Lisa, you already know that, because she is so passionate about what she does that it just comes across.
Oh,
Thank you, Joe.
beautiful.
Okay,
Joe.
now can I give Joe the, I feel terrible after all that. And I'm like, I didn't even get to hear anything because our room ended.
You guys will have to link up and yeah, you'll have to call
So,
Lisa.
but I want to give Joe, can I give Joe the floor
Of course, you can
share his
pretend that
story?
you were in the room. Yeah, go ahead, for
Okay,
sure.
go for it, Joe.
Okay, so I'll do the very short version. What I have found is that there are a large number of people who have a great idea about what they want to do with their lives professionally and want to start a business around that. And then they get lost and overwhelmed. And my job is to give them clarity specifically around what are the things that you need to pay attention to and what are the things that are noise. Because when you first start a business, there are thousands of people who come out of the woodwork and want to offer you helpful advice. And there are a lot of issues with that advice, but I'll focus on just a small number of them. One is that it is not coordinated. It is disconnected. And so if you are trying to do 6 different systems at the same time, they're going to conflict with each other. But more importantly, they're not from your perspective. Most advice comes from a perspective of what I would do if I were you. But the problem is you're not me. And so my job is to understand where you are and what you need to do next, not what I would do next if I were in the same situation.
That's warm. What do we love about that? What do we love about Joe's offer? Anyone? Popcorn style. Just give me one. Clarity. Crystal clear. Yeah.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
You'll have to share the recording back with me because I won't be able to recall any of that.
That's good. It's always real time. You just know that it's in there, right?
I was going to say authentic,
right?
It's very authentic.
Yeah. Omar, what did you say?
I was saying it reminded me of the 7 habits of highly effective people, and in habit 5, the author says, diagnose before you prescribe. And so often we want to project our own paradigm to the other person and say, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Based on my experience, I lived this and I did that. But it's totally different. We need to understand where the person is and offer advice according to their own situation and where they want to go, not according to what we lived and what we did in a similar situation in the past. So
that's particularly true for other generations. It's so, and this is classic, the older generation saying, oh, back in my day,
Yeah.
different world.
That's interesting. I would take a workshop on just being more conscious about that, right? Where I insert that and where I might not even be knowing that I am. I would definitely sign up for something like that, Joe.
We have a whole thing that I actually want to build and that is based around the idea of giving advice is useless, sharing experience is priceless.
Where is my copywriter, Mary or Yasmin? Can we?
Yeah, that is drop the mic. Drop the mic.
You dropped a bomb there.
Yeah, it's not nice. Yes, it's that's so good.
Just dropped a bomb.
Yeah.
Can I drop a bomb?
It's of course. Jump in, Dave.
The simplicity of the communication is the genius, because I was thinking of the phrase "walk a mile in another person's shoes."
Yeah.
The essence of what you're doing is when you hear a good communicator communicate, you get what they're trying to say instantly. You go, oh my God, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
You just like, oh God, yeah, of course. Your head goes, of course.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those aha moments. You go, man, that Joe's got it. He's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And that's what you've got. You've got one of those whoa moments where you go, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a little process check here and just bring us back to the fact that we have a limited amount of time and we want to make sure that we get everybody. I love the attention, but I don't want to derail us.
I got some breakout time, but that's great. And I think, again, so feedback, Joe, would be to try to capture that in video, and that could be a piece of content that leads to that conversation, right? Because we all were moved by that short 30, 60-second, like, you know, speech.
I just want to say one thing. I would love to spend an hour with you and grab all these great little memorable sound bites from you, because I have a feeling there's so many hidden inside you.
And Lisa, do you have a package for that?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Yeah,
I did. Sound bites and stories.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you guys for sharing. Who wants to go next? Should I go? Omar, who is in your room? Who are you with?
I was with Yasmin, and I loved that her mission is to make education instantly available to everyone around the globe. So everybody should have access to education. It shouldn't matter where you're from or what your background is or what your social status is. You shouldn't have to sit through a boring classroom to get the knowledge that you want. You shouldn't have to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars for a 4-year degree that's useless. You can go straight to mentors that are easily available and accessible, and that you can learn directly from. So, and I love that mission. So that's what I got from Yasmin.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that. Yasmin, I think we should hire him to help us promote global mentorship program.
You said better than me.
That's what we do, though. Sometimes we can sell each other so much better than we can sell ourselves, so we might as well. Yeah, that was beautiful, Omar. Very good. Yasmin, what did you learn about Omar?
Well, I love that he sells fitness as service, but in a way that he's selling actually lifestyle. And to me, for example, I have always practiced sports. So like, I love sports so much. And I think that what you need to become fit, it's consistency. And you know, this is what people don't have it, because they don't have the patience to wait and to commit with the process of every day going and eating well. So I love the way that he framed it, because what he said is like, I'm selling lifestyle. It's consistency. So you're going to have to love the process. I'm going to make you crystal clear around diets, because there's so much information that we like. One time we love eggs, and then the other time eggs are bad. So drink milk, don't drink milk, right? Like it's so confusing all the time. And he says it is simpler than we think to get in shape, and it's simple to everyone. So I love that.
Nice, love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, does it feel nice to be shared?
Yeah, it does.
It's such a gift. Really quick, 1 or 2 thoughts of what resonated with both what Yasmin and Omar kind of put out there. Any thoughts?
Like with what Omar said about Yasmin, is the idea that mentors are available and they can provide much greater value than we give them credit for being able to provide.
Yes, they're both educators.
Yeah, and then what Yasmin said about Omar was, you know, we talked about this, you know, Monday was the whole commitment thing. He'd really focus on, I'm going to teach you how to step into something, but it involves commitment, but it's easier than you think.
So
I was thinking on the mentor thing, I've always sought out mentors, but I did it starting way back in the early 70s, going to the library, reading a book, contacting the author. It takes forever, finally meeting them, learning with them. But the idea that you could actually have a marketplace and have somebody just get on the phone and you don't have to travel, and that would be available to young people, that's just awesome.
Oh, I love that. I haven't heard that from like someone who back in the day had to go through like, you know, I haven't had to do that. I just like I was born with the internet almost.
Yeah,
but well, I forgot.
I wrote my college just on a typewriter, you know. So.
Yeah, me too.
Remember those? Yeah.
That's dinosaurs.
I'm one of those.
I love it.
I'm in the middle right there, where like I helped build that early internet stuff, and I'm especially resonated by, or I find a resonation in Yasmin's attempt to make this, you know, democratized to a degree where people who can't otherwise afford it can now. That definitely touches the place for me.
Yeah, Yeah, and that's Yasmin's for those of you who don't know, Yasmin's the lead on Pick My Brain's global mentorship program, which is a program that we're betaing right now. But yeah, the vision really is total democratized access to browse and book anybody that you can find. And consistently. And like one of the things that we kind of really want to exist is, you know, yeah, can we all have like 10 or 20 hours of mentorship every year of our lives? Like, can we make that a thing? You know, just stay connected, unlock, and increase our perspective. And so Yasmin's leading that venture. So if you have an interest or an inclining to either be a mentor or sign up for the mentor, that's a part of, as a brain, you can also sign up for that as well. So yeah.
Can I just say something?
Of course.
Or if you want to buy hours of mentorship to your daughter, to your son, to someone you love, because the program is for young professionals, or else they will have, you know, to pay the hourly rate of the mentors on Pick My Brain. So like it's for young professionals. So if you're willing to pay for someone else, for, you know, how cool would it be to gift knowledge to people we love. Right. So I really rely on you guys to help me out with that, because we are selling education, but it's also a lifestyle. It can be cool and it can be better than it is right now.
Can I ask something? You know, like when people buy something, they're asked to give charity. Could you say to people who aren't willing to be members to ask to give a piece of their money back to the fellowship? You know, like as a percentage, you know, like gifting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have what we call the pool of scholarship, mentee scholarship fund, so that the mentors, they're paid. So a part of how much the mentees pay go to the mentors, and the mentors can donate this income to pay for someone else's mentorship. So yeah, this is a way for us to have like mentorship for those that cannot afford at a discounted rate.
I don't think Max has seen my email. I've put together a big group of players for World Sleep Day. And I think we've got George Sakaris doing the Q&A at the end. And I'd like Max to talk about her business right at the end of our big World Sleep Day.
Wow.
And Maxine and I talked a little bit at one point about maybe doing a buy one, get one kind of offer for some of our things as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
That's cool.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really loved about both of your stories is you talked about this idea of democratization of learning. Yeah. And the two elements that I think pull through that are access and relevance. And in both cases, you know, Yasmin, in your case, you were talking about the fact that so much of formal education is irrelevant now. And Omar, in your case, when you talk about fitness as lifestyle, that you were around, so you know that's very near and dear to me. But it is this idea that so much of the traditional approach to fitness has been this thing that is going to be imposed on you because you have to, as opposed to changing the way that you live your life so that you're in harmony with it.
Capturing this copy, right? Because it's like someone saying what we do. You're like, whoa, that is what I do, you know? Make sure, because that's reverence. Yeah. Amazing thoughts, amazing conversation as always. I feel like I could run this for 10 hours.
Mentorship program officially launched? You said you're in beta phase. When does it start?
It's coming. We're just starting. So we gathered the supply. So we got 100 people to offer 5 hours for a year. So we had a pool of people from all around the world, really cool people. Will, you're one of them. And now that we have 500 hours of mentorship per month available for a year, now we're focusing on the demand side. So Yasmin said, like, if you wanted to buy your daughter, 12 hours of mentorship, whoever she wanted to pick, you could buy a package from us and we'll facilitate that. So we're just going to start to sell that demand. We're learning as we go. How do we sell 500 hours of mentorship to keep this program alive? We're discovering. So open call. This is a democratized everything. So Dave, I'm really excited to be on that panel. But well, yeah,
I'd like you to meet George himself.
Okay.
He'd love you. He would love you.
Well, this is it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, watch this space. Honestly, I won't say anything more.
Okay, we'll connect again bilaterally. Thank you, Omar and Yasmin. That was awesome. Let's go with Will. Who are you in the room with?
Well, we had 3 in our room, and so we didn't have a lot of. Marga and I both presented, and then Greg actually did an awesome presentation in about 30 seconds. But I'll focus for the moment on Marga, because some of the things that, well, yeah, creating logos, and she said that that's really difficult to explain, and how do you sell that? And I was just thinking, oh, I want to talk to you, because I actually do that with samurai, well, hand-carved seals, and we call them samurai signature seals. And the whole idea of making any kind of logo is that there's a story behind it. And instead of saying, I can do this for you, well, what does it look like? And you have no idea. Instead, you could show other people's logos and feature their stories. Because anybody listening to that's going to say, I want something like that. Let them fill in the blanks on how it's going to look, but you show it, and also there's more credibility because you show what you did. So that was really, and then cooking as passion, we kind of got into that cooking and design, and so there's just so many more things I wanted to ask about. Yeah, so that was really cool. And then Greg was passionate about figuring out well-being for founders and entrepreneurs. And I thought that was such a cool niche, because everybody needs well-being, and there's a lot of entrepreneurs, there's a lot of founders and startups, but to put those 2 or 3 things together, it's like, wow, there's a huge need for it. And wow, just let's support him. That's awesome.
I love it. Amazing.
You could have a Pick My Brain Summit and have a whole panel here. Just, I mean, I'm just seeing this, like, everybody is tied.
Yeah, we'll get there. Slow conscious scale, as we discover what this is. Thanks. Well, Greg, do you want to jump in first? Then I'll go with you, Marga.
Okay, sure. Yeah, again, I picked up that Marga's a branding designer, helping businesses and individuals build their brand and identity. And likewise, what William had said, just trying to figure out how to package that in a way that is a little bit more deliverable in this kind of context. And then William, he's got a variety of really cool services that are packaged together, but one of the things he's focusing right now on is Nanba, the art of physical finesse. He's one of the things he mentioned was perpetual youth and longevity, and thriving under the current conditions of today using this particular method. And he's able to teach that, and he's gotten a ton of recent traction recently. Like he got, was it 500,000 hits on YouTube, and then he was they were published in a magazine, pretty big deal. So congratulations and kudos to William for the explosive traction lately.
And since then, I also got invited to present Samurai Walk on Japanese national television, one of the most popular primetime television shows. We're filming it on the 19th. So that's like, how did all that happen?
What happens when you put something out there? Just like it's just a snowball, right? And this is what happens. You'll just start to see, you put it out there and just starts to the universe just gets you more of it. Amazing job, Will.
I'd love to hear about when that's going to happen. I'll at least pass the word on to my sister who lives in Japan right now.
Oh, super. We broadcast in May. We're filming it this month. Yeah.
Well, we'll put it in the newsletter too, Will. We want to showcase all the brains all the time. So anytime you guys got good news, we'll deliver it in the community newsletter, because it's pretty exciting to see what our fellow peeps are up to. Yeah. Amazing. Marga.
Yeah, well, I was actually quite amazed by the fact that what I got from Will was this idea of finding that balance between your body and your mind. And that was kind of like what the samurai mentality was, like to just bring that into your everyday life. And I thought that was kind of something that everyone, can experience. And, even if you don't know anything about Japanese culture, that balancing of your inner self and your outside self and move around in that, mentality, I think that was actually really cool. And I think it's, in a nutshell, is very, it's something that everybody should, aim for, to have that balance in your life, right? So, and I think it kind of goes side in side with what Greg is saying, because Greg is about, being a, you know, having a well-being, being a, you know, supported as a founder, as an entrepreneur. And I think that's, you know, so a place where you're actually transforming so much about, you know, your business and about like your vision that is just draining in your persona, right? Like you're actually working so hard into giving birth to this idea that you need to have that balance too. So I guess they are kind of like in the same spectrum of, you know, how to balance that mind body experience, you know, in a sense. So yeah, I really enjoyed talking to them.
I love that. I feel like someday we'll be able to like offer Will and Greg, like if you're going to talk to Will, you should go talk to Greg, and then you should hop over to Omar, and then after that loop over to Joe for the full playlist experience. Yeah. And
shuffle. We'll do it on shuffle.
Yeah. Sometimes I dream of in the future prescribing humans to others. You know, it's like, oh, you're feeling this way. You know what? You know who you need a dose of?
Yeah.
Back in
totally.
Right?
Love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here, take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
Right? What's meant to be?
Matchmaker.
Yeah, that's a dream brain matchmaker, you know. And it, once you do start to understand what does someone pass over to you, I think we all would get really good at that. And it all kind of starts by identifying it first, which is like phase 1.
Can you do sorting women later afterwards?
For Marga, I wanted to show, this is an example of that samurai signature seal, and it's put in this little frame, and it's got a story behind it. This is mine, but you could do that with the logo, and then
you don't remember, Will, but I was at your samurai logo.
The workshop.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I actually did. Mine was a donut.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. Okay.
It was lovely. It was very, very empowering.
I have a quick question for you, William. Is there a difference between that type of logo and a traditional Han?
Okay, well, what you see here in the inner lining of this is these are samurai crests, family crests, and that's the one we did the samurai, and they all have a story around that. But this is like a seal for calligraphy, or for a document. And it's carved from ancient text, and this one particular means samurai on this side, and then willpower and helmet. So Wilhelm, Samurai William. That's mine. So there's a story behind it, and we just happen to have it, you know, created on the paper. So if you have a physical thing that has a story around it, you could do so much with logos. I just think, wow.
Yeah, totally. It's just about discovering those attributes that you want to put in the world, right?
And Lisa could help you find the phrasing for the sound bites for it. You know?
Well, I love when that happens. And yeah, actually Marga has done all of Pick My Brain's branding. So anything that you see that's Pick My Brain is Marga. And like what I loved, every time, you know, she'd show us an asset, the level that she could explain why it is that way and the layers of thinking behind it made me fall in love with, you know, it more and more and more. And same with when Will teaches me something about a story, I like fall, you know, I'm deeper with it. So yeah, I feel like there is value contained in there. We'll find that offer, Marga. I like it.
Yes, I know. I need to put the work.
Yeah, I get it. That's why I tried to do the challenge. Okay, let's go with Dave Gibson.
So I am pitching Jocelyn, yeah?
Yeah.
Do I have to do it in one of these big, deep voices and radio with the big mics?
You have a really good radio voice.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. I'm going to do a course on this. This is Jocelyn. She's a business consultant, but she's not just any business consultant. She's a multidisciplined, multifaceted business consultant. She will take your virtual business and make it work harder. She'll create your front end. She will sort out your back end. And that's the HR and the payments too. She will take any beauty product, lots of colors, lots of sizes, and she'll create the perfect content. And if you're a man like myself, a bust up sleek consultant, she'll take your webinars and courses and make them work for you. And if you don't know the courses that you want to do, she'll even help you find them by running workshops for you and doing consumer focus groups. She is the woman for you. That's Jocelyn, the business consultant.
Wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
Love it.
Now I want to take Dave to like all of my business development meetings.
Right? This is what we want to do. This is our brain man.
Yeah.
Our wing brain. Yeah.
Have him do your introductions.
Totally. Shouldn't we do each other's? You know, isn't it just I think so.
And now.
I need the big mic.
That's right. I think Greg is the only one with the appropriate microphone for that.
Yeah.
And you've got the voice.
Yeah, you have the voice, that's for sure. Well done. Definite creative style points there. Jocelyn, your turn.
Dave is an incredible sleep coach, but he's more than a sleep coach. He is an educator. He is here to revolutionize how we think about sleep, how we actually enact the act of sleeping, and end this intergenerational cycle of poor sleep that we get from our parents who didn't teach us how to sleep. And then now we're raising kids that also don't know how to sleep, and everyone's addicted to phones. So when I'm lying there late at night and I'm surfing on my phone, I'm not really working on sleep, even though I am telling myself that I am. So Dave is putting together an incredible online academy that will have little courses and little snippets of tools, tips, and advice on how you can sleep better and improve it for you and your family. So I think that the most impressive thing is he is going to also be writing a book. So there's a lot of content to come.
Amazing.
Neat.
Nice job.
Should have recorded that.
It's all recorded. It's all recorded. You'll get it.
Thank you.
Really good. Really good. You guys are all good at selling. It's so funny how much more confident you guys are to sell someone else than we were the first time. This is what I do. Yeah. So I think this is the model, which is perfect because you have to share others, you know, to like get yourself your thing. So this
next thing you've encouraged us to use video and also your voice messages.
Yeah.
And what an awesome way, because you know text is okay, but everybody's got a testimonial from somebody, and you know you might or might not read it. But I think having the voice, the audio only, or the video testimonial, some people are more comfortable just with the voice. Yeah. That is just a great thing. I think we should encourage ourselves to do more of that on Pick My Brain.
I agree. And actually we're working to make our reviews more multimedia. So when someone's like, how was your session with Will? Would you like to respond with voice, with video, or with text? So we're increasing our accessibility on both sides of the equation. And like, yeah, it's so much more human. And how beautiful, like honestly guys, when I'm having a shit day, I will go to my Pick My Brain profile and just read my reviews and remind myself that I do something of value. You know, I'm like, like I need a dose. And I think like, I'll read them forever. You know, I've got like 140 of them now. They're like my savior. And I hope that on your Pick My Brain profile, you consistently collect thoughts from other people of what it is you do for them, because everyone will respond in a different way. And it's really, it's really beautiful. So it's coming well. Every time we scale a little bit, we'll invest back into the tool. Yeah. Really good. Does anyone want to comment on Dave or Jocelyn, anything that resonated that you kind of heard that was like, I liked the way that was framed, or any thoughts?
I liked how Jocelyn mentioned that, you know, you need to work on sleep. So it's not just a passive activity that happens randomly, but you have to actually be mindful of that. And, you know, whether you have to schedule it or whether you have to take tools and to take actions to actually get it going. But it's not a passive activity. You have to make sure that you do it properly with the right amount and the right quality. So I like that short bit there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I also really like the intergenerational part, Dave, of, you know, how we sleep as parents, how our kids are sleeping, you know, having a 15-year-old in my household right now who's totally upside down with sleep and playing his games and virtual school. And, you know, it's really an issue. It's a huge issue intergenerationally.
I knock on school doors. There's a program in the States called Start School Later. And parents think I'm going to give them a course about sleep. And right at the end of it, I just hold up one of those. I said, if you want a course on sleep, put that down. That's all. That's the only thing. You've got to model appropriate boundaries around the phone. 9 out of 10 primary school kids in the UK complain that they can't have a relationship with their parents because they're on the phones. 9 out of 10 of them are stressed because of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Nuts. It's nuts.
And yet,
I was on a radio station. I was on a radio station when I presented that art. I'm on the radio on World Sleep Day again. The same program's got me back. 2 years ago on that program, I took a piece of research and I said, and everybody in the room went, "Oh shit, that's what we do. We do it in front of our kids. None of us role model it. None of us, because they're very addictive, and it's called multi-attachment. We're not multitasking. We're multi-attached. So the brain is addicted to it because it's thinking, was that a text? Was that an email? Because the sounds are different. So we're not even present. See, there's a bing then. We're not even present because we've been interrupted by our technology.
Right.
I'd hire you just for my family. Like, okay, Dave, what do we need to do? And why?
Okay,
so they get it.
And how?
Yeah.
How? That's good. Families, like, could a sleep consultant be available to you privately for a family session to set the family right? There's a nice package, Dave, that's really easy. Yeah.
One thing I've seen that works is those kitchen safes. So it's like a container you can get in different sizes, and then you set a timer on it, and you cannot open that thing without breaking it in that time. So you put your phone in there or whatever.
But Greg, it's not about that. It's about parenting. It's about lack of boundaries around children. I was treating a woman yesterday, and she turned around. And she said, "I can't get my son off the phone." And I said, "What?" He said, and she told me what the story was, and I said, "But why'd you let him have it?" "Well, it's not me, it's his dad." I said, "Well, what does he do?" He said, "Plays computer games with him at 2 a.m. I said, "Well, take the computer and throw it out the window." Throw the phone out the window, tell him you can't have it. Why? Why? It's boundaries. It's poor parenting. It's just poor boundaries.
So it's not actually the tech, it's like deeper than that.
It's not the tech, it's the parents. They are, sorry, I'll put this away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This could enjoyable multi-sensory and analog, non-digital versions of communication. Like my daughter is now, my youngest daughter is now here with my youngest granddaughter, who's just 2. And so last night I was reading her Mother Goose rhymes as I had read to my daughter. And it was just so wonderful because we had the 3-generation connection. And then I thought she had fallen asleep, and I got up to leave, and she started crying because she wanted more. So I was like, wow, this really works. So bedtime stories, I mean, it's such an easy thing.
You almost need to be retrained on it.
But nobody plays board games anymore. In the UK, we used to have board games, family board games. Nobody does it.
Right.
Digital jackpot.
There could be a whole family thing though that you could do that I think would be such a big, really a good thing.
Agreed, Dave.
And even back and bring Omar into it too, of the health and the wellness, right? And the food, what we consume, mind, body, soul kind of thing.
It's got to be using tech to be off tech.
And I always say sleep is number one. Dave, I don't know if you've read or heard about Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. But I've read that, and it's crazy. It's just
that's what I'm promoting on my World Sleep Day. I'm promoting that book. It's not mine. It's the best in town at the moment. It's by a guy called Michael Voss. It's all the things you ever need to know about sleep. It's brilliant.
Love it.
We'll take a look.
You guys, so for content, like we're seeing each other act in our shining moment that we're all like, ooh, need more of that, like need to download that because you see it in action. And one thing that kind of gets there is rants and raves. Like if you just turn on your camera and rant about something that you know exists and show your passion behind it, that attracts. Same with raving about something that you're like, this is just done so well. People can see your thinking, they can see how you analyze, they can see what you're reading, and it invites them in. We're all kind of feeling it. We're like, ooh, I want to go further with some of the people in the room based on a few, few minutes.
That's a fabulous idea, Maxine. I just started a bi-weekly 30-minute program on calligraphy, and it's on somebody else's platform. But so every month for 2 half hours, I get to rant and rave about everything about calligraphy, all stuff that's not going in the book. And it's just wonderful. So I was wondering, could you create on Pick My Brain, or maybe it's just up to us to do it.
Yeah.
A means whereby we could actually have our own regular programming. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes, just, rant and rave for 5 minutes, and then, but have that accessible to people.
Yeah, I think so. And we're always playing with our programming. I hope this someday it does become some kind of university type model, but these creative events, what if it was just called rant and rave? Come and share your rant for 3 minutes and let people see you rant, and then keep going. And then all of us, when we leave, we know who we can get in touch with. We can go to Pick My Brain and be like, I want to talk to Will. I need to talk to Will further. I'm going to book a session. So at least we have all that commonality. Yeah, well.
And we get a free therapy session, right? We just rant and we.
Yeah, right? And it would be good. They're a little micro introduction.
Saying just a section for a video and rant and rave, because you have your mission and some other cool categories, but rant and rave, and then a video, a box.
I could offer another workshop. Yeah. Why don't I get us to do that? Yeah.
Well, it could
I may be able to provide you with the tool. I might be able to provide you with the tool that can help you host all of those videos. And it even has a subscriber tier built into it. So that could be useful to you. I have some pretty serious access to that right now. And I want to mention real quick, Dave, by the way, you're on the radio and everything, so you already know you're an influencer. But yeah, I went and bought that book right there.
You got it, mate. It is genius. The man has walked the walk.
I'll have it in a couple of days.
I don't want to offend anybody, but along the way, my husband had an idea. I don't know if it's a Pick My Brain idea, but he said we should create something, a call service where you can call and it's 1-800-FUCK-YOU. For all the times we want to get off the phone and go, I do.
Oh my gosh, Greg, I feel like we should no code that and let that go in some hackathon. Great product.
I don't know if it's a Pick My Brain, but
I got a couple weeks left. A couple weeks left of the no code fellowship over at On Deck, and then maybe I'll have some time to do that.
Okay. Well, we'll store it. I think that's a great idea.
You can listen to it yourself, right?
We just make a YouTube channel of it. And you record yourself, be like, I just want to tell you, why I'm so pissed right now. Just be millions of people just saying their moments, very real. Okay, keeping this train going. How about Resa? Why don't you kick us off? Who are you in the room with? Oh, is she frozen? She's frozen.
She was in the room with me.
Oh, Dave. Okay, cool. Perfect. I want to make sure she...
what I loved about what Dave was talking about is there's so many offers for individuals, but we both really focus on the family. And what Dave's looking at is really helping dads who, in the middle of stress and difficulty and not being able to influence the people in their family, just kind of tend to check out. They can get angry, I guess, Dave. We didn't talk about that, but in your experience, they kind of check out. So Dave wants to offer something for dads to help them stay in the chaos and actually find ways to be effective and involved and helpful, rather than kind of withdraw from the family and therefore probably feel worse about that and about their lack of success, but really to empower them to be a very vital member of this family and help them move forward. I love that.
That's important. Yeah, where is the programming where you can be a high performing dad? You can be a high performing athlete, but why not a high performing parent? Where's the training for that? Love it.
Absolutely.
Really cool. Yeah, I've been watching the evolution of Dave's profile. It's really coming. It's beautiful.
Dave, is there anything else you would add to that I missed?
No, I think it was pretty good because it reinforces what you do and who you are, because we probably spent about 5.5 minutes on Resa's and we did about 1.5 on mine. We did speed dating, and she got the essence of what I was conveying in speed dating. So good ear, very good ear. So yeah, Resa was. What I really enjoyed about hers was she talked about navigating and having the difficult conversations. And it's all about empowering people to recognize that they can have those difficult conversations, and that while they may not be able to influence the kind of change that they would like to see in others, it does create an opportunity to create change by exploring having those difficult conversations. And so it's about going in and spending time to understand the situation, identifying where the conflict is, and finding ways to talk about the conflict so that something can happen. It doesn't have to be something that we avoid. It's something that we find an opportunity to embrace and empower ourselves to create change just by having the conversation. Did I get it? Did I get it?
Yep. Yeah, and the only other part of it is when you find that you really can't have the conversation. This is a difficult person that, you know, is unbudging and rigid and, you know, won't really collaborate with you. That I want to teach people some strategies to kind of go around the mountain rather than try to break through the middle of it or scale it or anything like that, because you know, we spend a lot of time talking about the people that are difficult in our lives, if you think about it, and they preoccupy a lot of space and a lot of energy. So sometimes you have to get to the point where you have to accept, you know, this is my impossible person and I'm not going to change them, but I certainly can have a relationship with them.
Used to do, you know, I've done a lot of coaching over the last 10 years with moms and dads who are dealing with substance abuse issues in the family. That's why my passion is for dads, is because 80% of my audience, if not 90% of my audience, was moms. Dads wouldn't show up. And so the moms would, you know, they'd be emotionally connected to the situation with their child. They would try to do things the way we would coach and encourage them. But the dad wasn't there. So they were at the same time wrestling with, how do I communicate with my child? At the same time, how do I get my husband involved? And one of the things to support what Resa just said, one of the things, you know, moms would get to the point, so I guess I just have to do nothing. Or, you know, what can I do? And I says, what you need to do is you need to do what you know you need to do, because when you move, you create change just by moving. And so if you change the nature of the conversation that you're having with your child, or the nature of your behavior that you're having with a child, they may not change their behavior to the desired outcome that you want, but it forces them to respond to the way you've changed your behavior and your conversation. Ergo, you've created change.
I often call it the choreography of conflict.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, nice. I love that.
You change
that should be your headline.
Yeah. And Lisa, I would love to talk to you about that some more, because, you know, like Maxine's been saying the whole time, I can say it for everybody else, but to find those sound bites for me has really been a struggle. But the choreography of conflict is kind of the way I'm thinking about it.
Love it.
Yep.
That's a beautiful phrase.
Beautiful phrase.
Yeah.
Own it.
Yeah, it's very
Thank you.
Awesome phrase.
Yeah. Nice. And we got the group validation. We're like, yeah, we're reverberating. I love that you two were paired together. It was just like, so like, there was just like some stacking happening in there. Yeah.
Absolutely. It was great.
Really good. Yeah. Any other comments on Dave or Resa's offers and choreography with conflict? Any thoughts that you had enter your mind?
I think it's just fun to watch that, how much better we are when we're paired or grouped rather than in just by ourselves. And then when we go back to being by ourselves, we become better still as a result of that interaction. Perfect addition. Agreed. And I just feel so much more empowered sharing someone else. Like, it feels so nice to do that, and it feels like such a gift when someone does that for me. I'm like, wow, thank you.
So it's interesting, because like the running theme here so far is everybody is into empowering other people. Meanwhile, Maxine's like, I feel so empowered.
This is the goal, Greg, of entire Big Boy Brain. Yeah, a little empowers, but yeah, no, for sure. But it also reverberates. You see it like, I even just like watching two people talk sometimes. I'm like, go, like, let's see how far you go.
But there's something else though, Maxine. You know, like I was thinking about the group of people and the uniqueness of the people that I've met through you just here. It's like, it's almost like pick my brain and find my soul. There's a soul connection in what we're doing. It really is. It's like, it's through the internet, but there's human to human through virtual technology.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Thanks, Dave. That means so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So much better than the curated conversations that the media brings us, which are all about politics and arguing, and it's always the same theme, just beat it to death. And that, you know.
Yeah.
But the human brain, William, the human brain is attached to negative fear. We're fight or flight creatures. So they bring us the bad news because that's what we're attached to. We're a fight or flight creature. So that's what we're more interested in because it keeps us safe.
Okay, interesting.
We are mostly hopelessly addicted to pain, suffering, fear, all of it.
I know. Can we invert it though? Because the whole world needs to invert right now. Can we flip it with abundance and love and collaboration?
I believe that's what we're doing here.
That's what I'm here for.
What's happening here? Yeah.
Well, you know, actually, there's a really interesting Stephen Fry video out. I don't know if you've seen any of his stuff on YouTube, but he actually talks about structural differences in the brains of liberals versus conservatives, and does some really interesting work on how you can use language to start bridging some of those differences and have constructive conversations rather than immediately enter into conflict. If only there were someone here who was interested in all of that.
Dave Cooke is, and I'll just tell you, what's the opposite of fear?
Abundance.
No, it's love. It's love. Love and fear are polar opposites. They're polar opposites. They're extreme opposites. You're either moving towards love or you're moving towards fear. And so what happens is if we find ourselves embracing fear, what we're doing is we're moving away from love. And so what we really need to start focusing on is, and this is what, again, back to my coaching with moms and dads, is that, you know, there's if you study the I Ching at all, and I'm probably mispronouncing it, but they talk about superior emotions and inferior emotions. And inferior emotions are doubt, worry, anger, whatever. And what it does is you're in fight mode. And so you're blocking, and what you're essentially doing is you're blocking, using their terminology, you're blocking the creator's ability to bring to you what you need to get through whatever it is you're struggling with. If you're focusing on having superior emotions, what you're focusing on then is gentleness, love, joy, peace, detachment. And what you're doing is think of it visually, your hands are open, you're like this. And what happens is that the creator then can bring into you what you need to get through whatever it is you're struggling to get through. So what I say to parents is I said, we're sitting here trying to figure out how to deal with our children's situation with addiction or the conflict that we're having at work with the relationship. Are you coming at it in fight mode? Because if you're coming at it in fight mode, you do not have access to the tools that will help you get through it. But if you come at it in open mode and come at it in love mode, practicing love and acceptance, because everybody in this room brings a gift. They have, you know, we have our flaws, we have our strengths, we have our character weaknesses, we have our character and personality strengths. I need to accept you for who you are because you are perfectly made. I'm not there yet. And it's because you have to practice that thing is that you practice love and acceptance. Say, I accept you for who you are. Now I need in love to understand and find a way for us to navigate through that so that we're not fighting, that we're not in conflict. And I bring love to the equation, which means I'm constantly moving towards love and I do not allow fear to define my behaviors.
Can I talk about the biology before it, Dave?
Go ahead.
There's a biology to the species that underlies it. We've got the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight. And when you lack sleep, you push that into overdrive and you decrease your immune system. The parasympathetic is the one that's attached to abundance and love. So we're naturally in the fight or flight system. And there's a nerve called the vagus nerve. There's a vagal theory that's in psychotherapy. The genius behind the vagus nerve is it connects your gut to your brain, and 90% of the nerves in the vagus nerve goes from the gut to the brain, not the other way around.
Right. Longest nerve in the human body.
And the gut bacteria, the cool bit is, the gut bacteria are the key drivers of it. They produce 90% of your body's serotonin. So if you don't sleep, you wipe out your gut bacteria. When you don't sleep, you lose emotion. So the thing for people who don't sleep is when they take gut bacteria, they feel better. The prehistoric body had 25% of its body weight as gut bacteria.
Wow.
Also, when we are born, the baby gets milk that has a sugar that it can't digest to get the gut bacteria to go into it through the breast milk. The whole biology is set up for the human species to do that through the vagus nerve.
That's incredible. There's a Japanese saying that our intestine is our second brain, and this was way pre all the research. They just.
This is so good. I think we gotta definitely, continue some of these conversations. We got one more. I know, Marga, I was just like letting some of it go because I'm like, that's good. And it's a really important message, like pick my brain, like that open to receive from the creator. When I put my pick my brain profile out there and I am open, what is able to come in has been remarkable. Look at you guys, look at you. So it's perfect. Last but certainly not least, Aaron and new Josh, welcome. What did you guys discover about each other? Who wants to go first? Aaron, you want to go first?
Josh, yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, he helps people bring their creative ideas to life. And he described our creativity as sometimes being this fog. And his job is to take that fog and put it in a bottle and then transform what's in that bottle into something physical. So that's his job, to help you bring your ideas to life. And his background is very powerful because he's a mechanical engineer. He's got a master's in mechanical engineering, and he also was a design engineer for Disney. So he definitely has the skills to pull this off.
Amazing.
That's right. Yeah. So pleasure to meet everybody. Yeah, thank you, Aaron. I really appreciate it. And Aaron, by the way, like what I got from what Aaron does, it's pretty impressive to say the least. I mean, the guy is incredibly compassionate, and he uses that compassion to help empathize with women and help them navigate their relationships and lives. So he basically takes the struggles that women have, he empathizes and has like an enormous amount of compassion for what they're going through, and then helps them navigate and become kind of the best versions of themselves. So not too many guys in the world understand women, but he seems to be one of them. So
share the secret,
Aaron.
Really
cool.
Yeah, that's a great line, Aaron. Not many men understand women, but Aaron does. You might attract some more.
That is good.
Yeah. Any thoughts on those two, or any follow-up questions?
Just keeps getting better and better. I mean, we need practice in this, but introducing each other is really a great exercise.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. Kind of the final day of our challenge. It is nice to showcase someone else. So that kind of brings us to the last 10 minutes of our time for the 5 days. Let's see. How do I even follow that up, guys? Like, I'm just like, it happened. So I'm just going to share my screen and kind of wrap up the program and tell you kind of next steps. But that was such a beautiful display. So I am going to, we have a gift for everyone who took the program. And, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it donuts from Margot? I mean,
Marga, could we order up some cookies for these guys? So what kind of where I want to go from here is just generally thank you guys for what you brought to this 5-day program. It really is the compilation of the people in the room that are so multi-diverse from multi-countries, and your willingness to go there and be open. And in the Facebook group, it was just so apparent, all the qualities that we do look for in a brain. People who are active, who provide feedback, who are collaborative, who are about the collective, and who are brave enough to start to really package and price new kinds of offers. It's not, it's not an intuitive thing to do, but I saw just so much creation happen in our private Facebook group that I just wanted to extend a thank you for everyone who kind of contributed to that. Steps from here. I think everyone, like I said, got a nice introduction into the tool and into the community. As soon as you want to go live with your profile, you just kind of click submit for review in the left-hand corner if you haven't done that already. Our team will kind of look over your profile and push you live on the free plan. The free plan on Pick My Brain gives you access to a free 20-minute call and then one other free or paid offer. If you want to unlock additional knowledge contracts and gain access to our creative networking events, our newsletter. So again, you get a Pick My Brain profile, you get listed on a global marketplace, you'll be included in our newsletter. We just launched our first one yesterday, and we're going to launch those every month where we kind of showcase brains and stories. And we're also going to start to, we're building up our socials right now. So I'll make sure that you guys have all the links to follow Pick My Brain so that we can promote you guys, because we'd love to showcase kind of what you came up with in the program. But the special that we're offering right now to the first 1,000 brains is we kind of keep learning what it is we are and get all the bugs and kinks out of our tech. You will find little kinks, and we're relying on you guys to help us kind of strengthen that. Is $300 for the year. 5% our lowest transaction fee, and again includes that kind of entire kind of bundle. So let me know if you are interested in joining that, and that's you'll be grandfathered into that rate and be part of our first cohort really. In terms of feedback, we would love to get your feedback for this 5-day challenge. It's the first time I've actually done the 5-day challenge. I've done other types of programs, but this is a new one, so would love your thoughts. If you want to take out your mobile phone and if you've got a QR code reader, we're testing this new way of collecting feedback. So if you hold this up to your phone, it will open up a Survey Monkey that will just have 3 really easy questions to tell us how we could have made this better or stronger, or what you loved about it. I might also, because this group is so dynamic and colorful, also send a video request for referral. So just like Will was referring to, wouldn't it be nice if we could all collect video testimonials from each other? I use this really fun tool called Just Ask, and I'll send it in our kind of follow-up email. But if you wouldn't mind taking a few minutes and just in your own words articulating what you got out of this program. The thing that we rely on most, and as all of us do, is sharing each other's gifts with one another. So we would love if you could do a post. Aaron already kind of shared his experience with Pick My Brain on LinkedIn. It helps us so much in these early days. And if you're open to doing that, as soon as you do, we'd love to send you a piece of content that you could use if you want to, again, display that you are totally open to sharing your time, knowledge, and experience. So Aaron, I curated yours first because you were the first one that did the homework every single time and did every assignment right on time. So I'll send you this right after, but we've mocked one up for everyone in the program, and we'll make those available to you at the end as well. And that's really it. I just want to leave the rest of the floor open for you guys to just share maybe a few things of what you got out of this, what you took away from it. And then I'll kind of wrap up so we can all go about our days and make sure that we've got that Facebook home when we want to revisit it. Does that make sense? Can
I go?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this burst of energy that wants to go. Okay. One, I truly enjoyed this group, this 5-day challenge. I see you're going to do it every month, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is brilliant and I love it. I wanted to say, I encourage everyone to use the platform. I use it, and I took this, I came back to kind of get refreshed, and my goal is I'm going to call every one of you And I am going to set up a discovery call. And I think it's really an important tool. Max has created this brilliant platform that is going to help us all thrive. And I love everybody in Pick My Brain. They are my people. I mean, it's just, if I were going to work with anyone, it would be all of you. Or if I'm going to refer someone, it would be to one of you. So I love the community and I want to grow with this community, and I am dedicated to using the platform. And that is really what I wanted to say. So thank you, Matt.
Thank you so much. I think we should have a monthly meetup.
Sure.
I think you should and with any workshop, you should keep the community going, because you said that the people in this room, I feel the same.
Yeah.
I'd hand any client to any of you. It'd be a privilege.
Yeah, and we do every month, we will invite the network to these types of events. But yeah, hopefully maybe I can keep this cohort specifically, do an alumni webinar. I'll think about how to
the Facebook group that you set up, do you set up, or is your plan to set up a separate one of these for each cohort, or to just keep adding to it?
Keep adding, because it just keeps showing who's in the network, who's available, and them going through that process, right? That discovery process of what it is they want to offer. So we're just going to keep cohorting to that group. So you'll always have access to that. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Max, I think when I'm in the AA fellowships and I go to a lot of big rooms, and when it gets too big, you can't find people. There's a size that, there's a size that otherwise you've got too many connections and you don't know. And I think once you've got people to share like you have here, keeping that together, keeping the group together, and then allowing it to interact with other groups.
Yeah, I will. Maybe Dave, I've got some ideas of how to do that, but maybe I'll draw on you guys of how I can best facilitate that, right? And Greg, like how do I keep cohort versus the whole marketplace, the small and big? Yeah.
I can definitely help you figure that out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I will book you for a session and we can jam about that. But Dave, after this, I'll kind of think about it a little bit. I'll send you guys a final wrap-up email with all the materials, your gifts, everyone's Pick My Brain profiles, and maybe an invitation to meet up once a month. And I know we were talking in the Facebook group of hosting a clubhouse. Again, like finding different ways that we can all come together. I know Greg's like, maybe we could do it on here. Maybe we could do it on Zoom, Greg. And like I said, I would attend, just setting up little situations. William and Greg talk about Zen philosophy. Let us listen and go. Joe, take us through like some kind of, exercise. But I'll discover a different way to make that inclusive.
Can you match people on hashtags?
Can I match people on hashtags?
Like if you've got something like Greg, can you put the 16 hashtags that you most love to follow? Yeah. And then you can connect people through the hashtags.
You're one step ahead of us. So yeah, we ask you guys on the profile, I know a lot about, and you hashtag what you know a lot about. And we also ask you in the about, what do I want to learn about? And we'll start to be able to use that information to suggest matches. Yeah.
But ask people the top 10 hashtags that define them as a person.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a combination between the I am and the I know a lot about, but yes. Yeah, that's the goal.
Now, just a technical question here. I've noticed that on your profile, specifically, Max, that you've gone from using the hashing symbol in the hashtags to not. Is there a preferred method?
Yeah, that was an editing. If it's in a bubble, it is searchable. Those sections are relational.
Okay, so you don't need to put the leading.
You don't need to. Yeah, I just more displayed that because people identify hashtags as topics. But yeah, I got to make that clear.
I think it just reads cleaner in the scroll on the banner.
Good question.
Because those first set of hashtags get rotated through your banner.
Yeah.
And so it just reads cleaner without the hash in front of it.
You're right. And I know what to edit to stop that. Yeah, good. Always feel free to give us platform feedback. Yeah.
You shared some wonderful, very interesting looking articles in the slides, and you reviewed them today. Could we get links to those articles?
Yeah, I will send. We actually have a part-time researcher at Pick My Brain named Ryan, and we buy 10 hours of his fractional time every month to kind of give us deep dives on the knowledge economy, the passion economy, those types of articles. So I'll share that I can give access to the brains for that too. I can throw that into my package.
There you go. And is he available as a researcher on Pick My Brain?
He is. His name is Ryan Cross. Feel free to research him. He's amazing. And everyone says, like, if you were a millionaire, what would you have? And everyone's like, a masseuse and like a cook. And I'm like, a researcher. Like, without a doubt, it is so empowering. I can't even tell you. And I'm like, every organization should have 10 hours of research, you know, being able to just ask questions and get them to dig into something for you. So I highly recommend his services. He's exceptional. But I'll share that, Will, for sure. Great question. Anything else? Any other insights or high level like takeaways before I send you guys our follow-up page?
Before we jam, I just want to say, like, because I gotta jet for another appointment here in a second. Yeah. I'm definitely willing to help you out figuring out that the platform issue, so that we can continue to have like cohorts as well as a larger ability to communicate, and we can definitely get that knocked out before next month, where we do a meeting with everybody in this cohort.
Cool. Done. Greg following up. Beautiful.
That'd be fabulous.
Guys, it's been an absolute joy. I look forward to the next time. I've got to run though.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Greg. Yeah, I have to leave too, but thank you all. Appreciate you so much.
Thanks, Marga.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Thank you.
And I just want to do a call back to the thing we talked about at the end of our first meeting. We had talked about doing an event around, I'll just call it integrated wellness.
Yeah.
So if people are still interested in that, you know, contact me. I'm not live on the platform yet, but we are all in the Facebook group, and I will be live soon.
Yeah.
So so please reach out, because I think there's something there, and you know, I think part of the challenge that you're trying to address, Max, and it will be interesting to see how you do all this, is there are multiple platforms. And right now, I can say this because Greg isn't here, or you know, Clubhouse is hot and people are there and they're looking for information. So I think we have to be open to being where people are.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we can play with it. We're multimedia. As Pick My Brain, I do want to create the conditions for us to trial different things too that lead people to our offers and to know what we know.
Be interesting to see if you could do a simultaneous Clubhouse and Facebook Live.
Oh man. Well, if anyone
like
wants
multi-stream. Because I know you can multi-stream to like YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn at the same time. I don't know if anybody's integrated Clubhouse.
Yeah,
that would be really interesting.
Standalone product. But yeah, Joe, if you want to spearhead that in Facebook, just put like, who's interested in being on the panel? Let's pick a date.
And let's figure out, somebody talked about some platform for advertising, and somebody in our little group seemed to know a lot about promoting group events on Clubhouse. And so I would love to leverage that and turn this into a thing.
Okay, let's do it. I have it written down as a goal for this cohort. Little gifts created by the cohort.
I just bought this on Kindle, so.
Oh, you guys.
It's a great book, William.
Thanks, Dave. Really appreciate it.
I love it. We should have a brain reading list.
Yeah, my students really struggle with this, and so and it's great to have the science behind it as well.
It's a brilliant book.
Got a jet. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, Dave. Thanks for your abundant shares.
I know I've been on a lot of groups, but I have to say this has been one that has kind of come together really quickly.
Yeah.
And lots of energy and incredible talent. And I'd love to work with all of you. So, you know, I'd love to keep the cohort together and also, you know, expand and get a profile up and get going. So thank you, everybody, because it's been really, really exciting.
Thanks, Resa.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing that, Resa. I will do my best to keep you guys all in touch.
All right, I'm out. Listen, I will talk with you guys at some point. It was a pleasure. Max, thank you again.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much.
Love
Max.
Pick My Brain.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, run as well.
Bye.
Thanks so much, Max. This has been a very fun week. Well, you know, you're going to hear from me next week about onboarding. So we've got that to look forward to. So I'll reach you on email. But thank you guys so much. I'm going to be reaching out to some of you. I feel like this has been very educational in many ways. I think the knowledge professionals is really going to be the new future, and it's great to get started with this group.
Love it. Thanks so much for coming, Jocelyn.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you soon.
Grab me for those focus groups.
I will. I'll be sending out emails. Bye, Dave.
Bye.
Wow.
You know what, Max, I wanted to add a big benefit that I didn't foresee when I signed up to Pick My Brain is just being comfortable with selling and being comfortable with putting my offer out there. And like you say so well, being comfortable with articulating our offer, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a big psychological win that I didn't even think about when I signed up. And, you know, now after having gone through this 5-day event where people comment on your offer, they brainstorm with you, they give you feedback, and they encourage you to put your offer out there and to put yourself out there, which I know it may sound silly, but for me, it's a bit scary to step into this new identity and say, hey, I'm a fitness coach. I provide fitness services, because it's totally new to me. So just to have people to encourage you and that you can learn from, it's very inspiring, and it helps with overcoming those insecurities and those fears when you're just starting out and when you're just, you know, putting your offer out there in the world. So that's a big win psychologically.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. I totally agree. It is scary at first. And when you do take, like you said, a new identity, like I'm coming out, this is what I am. But yeah, we have a bunch of people that are accepting, you know, it's so much easier. But that's that's good. My feedback takeaway is like, yeah, the cohort style, like it's so much more supportive than building a profile yourself and launching, right? It's so much less scary. Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
What was Jocelyn's surname?
What's that?
What's Jocelyn's surname?
Chang. Chang.
Chang.
Yeah. I'll make sure you guys have everyone's list. All the people. Yeah. I got a few little additions that I want to do in the next 5-day challenge, but it was pretty good. It was good. There was enough value transfer that I'm pretty happy, and like the group was just spectacular. So that's really nice.
Just one, and I want to offer this in the gentlest way possible, but one piece of feedback is the videos were great.
Yeah. And
the videos spent the first 10 minutes selling the platform. We already bought the platform.
Okay. Yeah.
So I found myself going.
Maybe they were designed for something else, and
shortening and just focus on what it is. Yeah, I usually just would try to speak to what it does and then show how to do it. But I'll take that. I'll always say I'm always.
I just found myself going to yes, I know this is wonderful. Now I want to do it for me.
Yeah. So faster. Okay, cool. I can do that.
The other thing, Max.
Yeah.
The other thing, Max, one of the course content creators I was on one of the platforms said, if you've got it in your hand to use it, it's better. So if you could get people to print out some of the slides so they can write on it as they're looking at you.
Yeah, worksheets are wonderful.
Really?
Worksheets.
I hate worksheets, okay?
Oh, no,
it's like digital garbage to me. But
you know,
it's a live version of that. I'm like, that is the worksheet. You know, I don't need you to.
I think there was somebody who was talking about this the last time, but there's actual research that when you write things longhand, a different part of your brain gets activated.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
100%, Joe. I've read the research.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Looking at something and doing it, it locks in twice as quick.
So maybe I'll redo my master classes, cut them down, and get people to kind of write out, you know, things that they can then insert digitally on their profile. I could try that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll bet Ryan could even tell you why that's a good idea.
Should I add that to my list?
In terms of what Joe was talking about is having the slides so there's room to take notes. That kind of worksheet I think would be really helpful. I agree with you, however, you don't want a worksheet that has a blank word that it's like a school test that you have to fill in the word that was said. That's not what that's about, right? It's more what Joe was talking about. It's just something that physically that we can write on. That and like, you know, capturing those articles, for example, you know.
Yeah.
Because people like to take notes. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. That's awesome. I can do that. And that's, you know, experience each other's offers, offer each other feedback, how to make those offers stronger. It's just like this reoccurring, you know, it's just forever. Just keep iterating. Yeah. Okay. Articles. Slow. Yeah. Anything else? Any other
I like the homework because it forces the participants to be active and to take action. That was good. And you specifically assigning people to review other people's profiles.
Yeah.
That I liked. So that's something that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. I would perhaps spread it over a longer period, but that's just me. I would have preferred for the challenge to be longer, 7 days, 10 days even, just to maybe have time to absorb all the information and process it and to digest it. So, but that's just me. Maybe others would prefer it shorter like this.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, let me know what you guys think. I had a 5-week program, which is like a little bit deeper. And then I condensed it down to 5, and I just don't know, you know, everyone's so busy. So I just want to give them a flavor and then give them an opportunity to go further if they like it. But yeah, it is a lot of information to download. I do get that. Okay. Anyone else have thoughts on that? Shorter, longer?
Yeah, well, I found 5 days was just right for me, but the reason was because I'd already done 90% of the pre-work.
Right.
If I was starting from scratch, that would have been a bear.
Yeah.
And if you're busy, there's just no way you can get all that done that quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was more about tweaking than just launching and starting up from scratch.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's what I should call it, is like, do you want to refresh, or right, Lisa, there's half of you that kind of took it for a second time and half totally new, and I think it is something you can kind of take over and over and over again. But yeah, okay.
I think there is a pre-work package that you should send out.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. Okay.
I think particularly with somebody like myself, Max, there was no way, I've got no content, there's no way I could play catch up.
Yeah.
For a variety of reasons, but there was no chance. I mean, I wanted to do it, just could not make the time.
And it's not intended for you guys to finish. It's just saying, like, you now have been exposed to the tool, exposed to the idea of packaging and pricing, and exposed to how it works. And it takes a while to build a business, you know, to build a revenue stream. It takes some energy, but like, I just want to expose you guys to it and then let you go through. So maybe I'll just set up the expectations.
But you know, like as a bit of intention coaching, it would be great, because you will always have people ahead of the team and people are behind.
Yeah.
It'd be great if you could pull people to go, okay, we're all going to get our courses out by then, and make a commitment to people to all encourage each other. How are you doing with your course? So everybody pulls each other along.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a shared goal.
Like a what? A shared goal?
Yeah, like, okay, all of us are committed to everyone's committed to getting this done by that date, all of us.
Yeah, well, I tried to do that every day by just being like, you got kind of 24 hours, just like spend a bit of time, but maybe everyone, hopefully everyone can get a booking by this date, you know, share your profile and get a booking by this date or something collective.
No, get the course on. So for somebody like myself, right, I know that I'm not going to get a course done. Today's what, March? I reckon my first online courses with the new people I'm working with will be June.
Oh.
So that's me. Could I commit to doing June with your platform? No.
Right.
So I'm looking at bringing your platform in the summer. So I wouldn't be able to give a commitment to the team, but there might be somebody that just needs a bit of bringing into, you know, like somebody like Omar, perhaps. I'm not saying you in particular, but Omar, somebody who's less confident, that needs the group to encourage them. Come on, man, you can do it. That sort of collective commitment.
Okay.
You know, like sharing a goal to quit an addiction with a friend is easier.
Yeah. Okay. Yasmin, you and I can
Dave, for your course to be launched in the summer, maybe there's something that you could do to kind of get feedback or even generate potential, you know, participants for your program through Pick My Brain. so they can engage with you. And I've learned so much from listening to you and this whole, I mean, I've been interested in sleep for a while, but just bringing that back to the focus of attention, you know, that's just a great thing. You can just engage in conversations, even if you don't have a course on Pick My Brain yet.
Yeah, I don't need a course. That's not the intention of this. This is just like the easiest one offer is I'm open for calls, right? You just turn on that template and you are live. You can build that stack as you go, and the more advanced brains build that out. But like at the very least, I just wanted to give you a tool and a call line. Yeah.
So I could put an offer up. If there was a course you wanted me to design for you on sleep, I could do the market research through Pick My Brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'll do it.
And gather prospects for your course in the process, because they will have already talked to you and they.
True. Yeah, actually.
William, I love you.
Yeah.
I'll give you a hug.
One of the biggest hacks I saw was the startup founder who got his first 1,000 clients by messaging them and said, listen, I built a tool with you in mind. Would you be willing to try it out? Done. Yeah. Cool. Okay, I will add those improvements to the next cohort. Thank you. Anything else?
Yeah, I have a question regarding the stack of offers, and maybe you've thought of it already, but is there a way, or do you have a plan to maybe group different offers within certain categories or certain umbrellas? I'm just thinking, like, if a client sees that, there might be some decision fatigue, or like the paradox of choice. When you see so much offers, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just need to guide the person, tell them, okay, you do this, you take my 6-week plan, or you take my 3-week plan.
Yeah.
Instead of saying you can do A or B or C or D, then they get lost. So anyway, I'm thinking out loud as I'm saying it, but I think you're getting the point, right?
Yeah, my comment to that would be, usually bookings will come from that call. So you're like, if they're interested, you're driving people to connect to talk about your services. And then on that call, you guide them to which package and you send them the link to that. Right. Or when you're doing content, like with the $99 program, I wasn't sharing my entire profile. I was just sharing a link directly to that program. And then they can look back at it. So my recommendation would be, to share the offer individually, specifically. Or on the phone, give direction to the client which package would be best for them. And in the future, what I see this like, right, as we iterate and get that seamless process down, I actually imagine it as I read about you and then I get to make a custom offer. Hey, Omar, would you be willing to do this? And I could submit it with a dollar amount. You know, it might become more real time like that. I'm not sure. Or that we start to know that everyone in the network is available for a one-on-one for a certain price, or a day or a week. And we start to learn that we've got this like collective pool to grab onto. So still discovering that line. But yeah, my recommendation would be just to guide your clients to what you want them to buy, and let them know why. Yeah.
And I'll be bartering.
People who want to, here's the link. Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll be able to barter courses.
Oh, what's that?
Sorry, you'll be able to barter. You'll be able to sort of barter courses.
Yeah.
Well, to some degree, you can do that now with discount codes.
You can, but could it become right now? That's the way to direct it as a brain. Like, I offer discount codes for these people, but in the future, I'd be like, hey, Dave, would you what if I could craft something? Would you be willing to come and teach a workshop for all of my brains for 90 minutes on this? I'm willing to pay this. And he'd be like, accept or reject. And maybe that contract could be facilitated. But again, that's me looking a little bit further when I'm a little bit more down the rabbit hole of building a global platform, learning how to do that. Yeah, but this is good feedback. I would love to host even a conversation of like, where do we think the platform is going to go? What does knowledge commerce feel and look like? You know, how do we all collect these stats so that knowledge commerce can surpass e-commerce? Or that we can show how much knowledge we're selling. Lots of thinking going towards it. Yeah. But yes, feed the feedback to all of our visions. Yeah. Any other comments?
This is just a kind of, not random, but my brother sent me, or my friend sent me an article about this South African artist who took ancient inscriptions. This is actually the back of the chair is a letter, a character in their language. And, you know, and they've got all these really cool backings. And I was thinking, you know, I do stuff with ancient Chinese characters, and it's very similar. It's almost like a universal language of pictures. And of course, they all have the meanings, and that turned into Chinese characters. So I don't know. It's just, it's something I'm planning to share on my calligraphy show. But there's just stuff, it's not even connected to an offer necessarily. It's just something that that it's just really cool to get out there. I don't know. Maybe that's good section. I don't know.
Yeah, well, this is like, where does that like, it's not necessarily an offer, but it's definitely knowledge that we're all like, cool. You know, I wouldn't be able to identify I wanted that knowledge, but I definitely want it. And when I discover it, it does make me more round and leads me to like think other things. So that to me is like the creative networking that comes with, right? The creative lectures and these like different ways to popcorn style our knowledge. Like even, I could even imagine being like, hey brains, we're getting together. We're just going to go around and everyone's going to teach you something remarkable for 5 minutes. You know, what a cool class to attend. Do you want to come? You know, and slowly we just start to see little pieces of our knowledge, and it feeds into somewhere. I'm not sure where yet, but.
Well, for example, just the idea of chairs. I mean, how do we think about chairs? Do we just have to accept what they have on sale at the store, or this idea was that you sit close to the ground because that's where you connect with your ancestors. You know, that's the South African idea, and you know, it's like Japanese sit on the floor for the most part. So just the whole concept of chairs and then how that affects your posture, and you could go, I guess it's the same thing as, you know, going around sleep. You take a theme that's pretty general, but you can all dial in on it.
That's so funny. That's the offer I curated in the 5-day program, was 12 conversations over the course of the year with 10 remarkable people about the world's problems. And my thing is like, I want everyone to know deeply about the world's problems. So once a month, we're going to cover one of the themes that the Sustainable UN came up with and talk about it. You know, you could do another one, a year of conversations about culture. I'm looking for 20 people who want to spend once a month, every month, you know, learning about this topic. I think there's something there, Will. Yeah, I'm going to keep playing.
I've got another piece of feedback, Max.
Yeah.
I did the QR code. It's brilliant.
Oh, good.
Okay. What I think you do is that, right, you allow people, you know, like you've got a sort of end piece now that you've done.
Yeah.
Before you do the end piece, give people a 5-minute comfort break.
Yeah.
And leave it on the screen.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I ran out of a little time. I can do that. Yeah, more time.
Put a break in so that you can, look, guys, we're going to have 15 minutes together just to center yourself, get all the notes together, because this is where all the bombs are going to go, and leave the, can you just do it then? Leave it so they've got enough time.
Yeah, Yasmin, you did tell me just to wait as they did it right then and there. That's how you get
what it helps normally, because I know that ask people to do it and stay like waiting, it's kind of, it freaks you out because you want to keep going, right? So what helps is for you to take the survey as well. So just take the time and do the survey, so that when you end the survey, people had the time, because like you changed the slide so that people didn't have the time to see it.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
It's brilliant. It works.
Yeah.
It's done.
Cool. Good feedback. See how better we can make all each other just so fast? Yeah. It's so helpful. I love it. Yeah, we can do that. I'll include it too in a welcome email to make sure everyone has it. But yeah, it is scary to sit there sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
I must keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts? I have a product development meeting at 5.
Yeah, guys, I have to go. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you all.
I'll see you.
Thank you, Max.
Bye.
See you all. Bye.
Yeah, I just have to say, so this has been awesome seeing you guys, and like I have already filled out my profile and submitted it, so I just have been like watching and kind of like gaining a sense of what was happening on this 5-day challenge, and I realize I'm kind of an outsider looking in at this point, but I can tell you that that you're definitely on the right track. Like I've built a couple of SaaS products and a bunch of mobile apps, and know very much what it's like, especially like what you're doing right now and building community around tech. And it's it's a really great thing to build this community base and get feedback. And that goes for all you guys too. As you develop your own offers, you need feedback, like, because if you develop what you think you're going to do in a black box, most likely it will not do as well as you think. So you need to get people on the phone and talk to as many as possible, and let them craft essentially your first couple of offers, and you'll know that they'll work better. Yeah, so it's great. Everybody sounds awesome. Very interesting.
Thanks, Josh. I wish we'd have met you.
Yeah. Some other time. Yeah, just check me out. You guys are very interesting, and I'll be on the platform. I don't know, whenever, Maxine, whenever that ends up happening and moves through. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that outside perspective. And I've been like loving your interviews. It seems like you interview a whole lot of interesting people too.
Yeah.
So might have to dig into your reservoir of humans as well at some point.
Yeah. Well, the trick for me for that was the first like 25 or so, I got on my own network and really pressed hard. But then at the end of each show, I would ask the guest who the most interesting person they knew was, and if they could make an introduction. And that has now blossomed into almost now 200 crazy episodes. So yeah,
I love it. I feel like I could tag that, like at the end of a call. What do you do? How do you end a Pick My Brain call? Hey, is there anyone else that you recommend that I connect with? Like, what a great.
That's exactly how I met you, Max. It was through Jürgen Strauss, who has this thing called Innova Buzz. He's in Australia, and he always at the end of his podcast says, "Who's the most interesting people that you think I should talk to?" And that I got on his podcast, and then that's how I met Max. He said, "Oh, you got to meet."
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, we just got to bake in that culture, that end line almost. And that, what a great way to end something, right? Like, that's like so fabulous. Just open another door as you like close one for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you're actually doing your outreach for Pick Your Brain or Pick My Brain, but as I'm sure you will have some kind of customer onboarding specialist, right? Somebody that helps people like work through the initial kind of kinks of the system. And it could very well be that you ask that to everybody that you onboard, so that it's almost like, it's like kind of a half-assed like viral loop sort of thing, but just with one special person that you bring into the program, and then you help onboard them. I think
that's a great idea,
because I know a lot of really interesting people that would love to sign up for this. Right. Just like Todd Churches, like in the Gate group, saying about that. So I know lots of people, and having some kind of referral program would be a really good thing to have, at least at the outset.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're thinking of giving $50 in Pick My Brain credits. So like knowledge is a gift for referring knowledge to the system. Bootstrap, so like everything takes a little bit longer, but like working on it.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know.
I'm glad you know. I'm gonna connect with you. I'd like to reach out, because anytime I can connect with another Bootstrap founder, I'm like, please understand my issues.
Post the link to the podcast that I mentioned, and I mean, it sounds like you're already doing that, but you might pick up some new guests from contacting those people as well.
Yeah, probably two very interesting tool pools of people. You're going to attract a lot of interesting people too. You find the nodes,
as well, right?
Maxine, when's the next one of these that you're going to do, the 5-day challenge?
We're doing one on March 15th, actually, and that one is actually going to be for Europe and a bunch of multi-potentialites. But anyone is available, and then the next one after that is April 3rd.
Wait, so the one for Europe, you're targeting European, or can anybody join and participate?
Anybody can join. It just might be more Europeans on that one.
Got it. Yeah.
So I'll let you know if you got your brain submitted now. You'll kind of get on our newsletter.
Well, I was going to offer you, like, if you want, come on the show and I'll do an interview, and then we'll push it out before March 15th so that people can sign up and do it.
Let's do it. Definitely in. Yeah. Okay. I will reach out.
So I'm going to sign off, but
he's so cute. Well, oh my God. Okay. Have fun. I got to sign off too. Actually, I got to call at 5.
You got a DM, mate.
Yes, I know. You sent me an email. Oh.
No, Josh has as well.
Oh.
Yeah. What? You found me on Instagram, huh?
Got to.
Okay.
I'm getting good at this.
Yeah, I'm so old. I found you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'd love to connect with all of you guys offline or off this, but online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's do it.
Sounds good. I'll send you guys a follow-up.
Thanks, Max.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you guys. Yeah. We'll see you so soon.
Everyone.
All right, see you guys.
Bye, Joe.
Bye.
Bye, Joe.